Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're diving into something we've been getting a lot of requests about from you listeners.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, fibroadenomas.
Interesting.
And specifically, we're going to be looking at this guide, Fibroadenoma, Diet, Yoga, and Natural Treatment Guide, to see what it says about managing them naturally.
Okay.
Now, I know a lot of you out there are interested in things like diet and yoga, not to replace medical advice,
Of
obviously,
course, of course.
but to see if they can help, you know?
Yeah, makes
So
sense.
as potential tools to support your well-being.
Absolutely.
So before we get into it, let's do a quick recap on what fibroadenomas actually are,
Okay.
just in case anyone's new to this.
Right.
Basically, they're benign breast lumps, which means they're not cancerous.
Gotcha.
And they're pretty common, especially for women during their reproductive years.
Yeah.
But even though they're generally harmless, I know they can cause some worry.
Oh, absolutely. It's completely understandable to feel concerned when you notice any changes in your body. And, while we're going to be looking at what this guide suggests about natural approaches, I really want to emphasize that regular checkups with your doctor are still essential.
For sure, for sure. We are definitely not suggesting anyone skip their doctor's appointments.
Right.
It's all about learning more
Hmm.
and maybe finding some extra ways to support your health.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power.
Now, the guide gets into the causes of fibroadenomas, and it points to hormonal imbalances as a primary factor, especially having too much estrogen.
Yeah, hormones definitely play a key role, and it's really interesting how the guide also talks about other things that might contribute to it.
Like what?
Well, like genetics,
Okay.
exposure to certain environmental toxins, chronic inflammation, and even how well your liver can detoxify
Oh,
things.
wow. So many factors.
Right. It's complex.
Now, this is where things get really interesting for me.
Yeah.
The guide suggests that what you eat can actually have a big impact on regulating those hormones and keeping inflammation under control.
Oh, that makes sense.
And it gives us a pretty long list of foods to avoid if you're trying to manage fibroadenomas naturally.
Like a dietary approach.
Exactly.
That's fascinating how the things we eat can actually make such a difference.
Yeah.
Let's dive into that list and see why these specific foods are flagged, shall we?
Okay, let's break it down. First up, processed meats.
Okay.
The guide says that they often have synthetic hormones that can mess with your body's natural balance.
Right, that makes sense considering what we were talking about earlier with hormones.
Right. Then we've got dairy products, which the guide suggests can lead to higher estrogen levels.
Interesting.
And then, of course, there's refined sugar.
Oh, of course.
No surprises there.
Yeah.
It's famous for causing those quick spikes in insulin, which can then lead to more inflammation.
Yeah, sugar's sneaky like that.
Oh, for sure.
Mm.
And now for one that might surprise some people, excess soy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So the guide explains that soy has these compounds called phytoestrogens, which are basically plant estrogens. And while they're different from the estrogen our bodies make, they can still affect our hormonal balance.
So it all comes back to that delicate balance.
Right. And to round out the list, we have the usual suspects, alcohol and caffeine.
Right.
And the guide really stresses that they put extra stress on your liver.
Oh, that makes sense, especially given how important the liver is for detoxification.
Exactly. And remember, we talked about how important that is earlier.
So it's like a recurring theme here.
Totally. So it's not just about cutting out the bad stuff, right?
Right.
We also need to focus on the foods that can actually help.
Yeah, what about the good stuff?
The guide has a whole foods to eat more list,
Yeah.
and it's full of delicious and healthy things.
Sounds good.
Like cruciferous veggies, broccoli, cauliflower, kale. They're all about helping your body get rid of estrogen more effectively.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and let's not forget those little powerhouses, flax seeds and chia seeds.
Yeah.
They're full of lignans, these compounds that can help regulate estrogen levels.
Wow, tiny but mighty. Seriously. And then there's turmeric and ginger, the superstars of fighting inflammation, which the guide says is really important for managing fibroadenomas.
I love both of those.
Oh, me too.
It's amazing how food can be so powerful.
Right. Then we've got leafy greens like spinach and collard greens, which are super important for a healthy liver. And as we've established, that's key for detoxification.
Right, it all connects.
And we can't forget omega-3 fatty acids.
Of course not.
From walnuts, flax seeds, fatty fish. They're good for so many things, not just fibroadenomas.
Absolutely. Great for overall health.
It's like a win-win situation.
Exactly.
Supporting your body and maybe helping with a specific concern at the same time.
Makes sense.
So now I know we're all about putting what we learn into action. Are you ready to see how these recommended foods could actually look in a daily meal plan?
Ooh, yeah. Let's get practical.
The guide has a sample meal plan.
Okay.
But keep in mind, this is just an example and not personalized medical advice, okay?
Got it, got it. So the day starts off with a refreshing glass of lemon water.
Nice.
The guide says that this can kickstart your detoxification process first thing in the morning.
That makes sense.
And then it's time for a vibrant green smoothie packed with spinach, turmeric, flax seeds, and almond milk. It's a real powerhouse of nutrients.
Sounds delicious.
Oh, it is. I'm a big fan of green smoothies. What I find interesting is how this morning routine focuses on hydration and nutrient-dense foods that align with the principles we've been talking about.
Oh, for sure.
Like supporting hormonal balance and liver function.
Yeah, setting the stage for a healthy day.
Exactly. For breakfast, you've got options like avocado toast with flax seeds and a sprinkle of turmeric.
Okay.
Or a hearty bowl of oatmeal with chia seeds and fresh berries.
Both sound great.
They're both great. And they include those beneficial seeds we talked about, plus a good balance of nutrients and energy.
Makes sense.
Lunch is all about vibrant salads and lean protein. The guide suggests a quinoa salad with kale, chickpeas, and a little olive oil dressing. Or grilled salmon with roasted broccoli and sweet potatoes.
Healthy and delicious. I like how the guide focuses on whole grains like quinoa.
Oh yeah, they give you sustained energy and fiber.
Important for overall health.
Totally. Now, for a mid-afternoon pick-me-up, how about some herbal tea?
Oh, I love tea.
Me too. You could have green tea, chamomile, or spearmint paired with a handful of nuts like walnuts or almonds.
Perfect combination.
Right. Those teas are known for their calming and antioxidant properties, and the nuts give you some healthy fats and protein to keep you going until dinner.
Sounds like the perfect afternoon snack.
Speaking of dinner, the sample meal plan has some interesting options.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Stir-fried tofu with bok choy and brown rice,
Okay.
or a comforting bowl of miso soup with seaweed, and you guessed it, a sprinkle of turmeric.
Love it. Both sound delicious.
I know, right? The stir-fry has plant-based protein and lots of veggies.
And the miso soup has good probiotics for your gut.
Plus that anti-inflammatory turmeric.
So good.
It's clear that the guide is really emphasizing supporting your liver's detoxification.
Definitely a recurring theme.
And the guide also recommends having detox drinks throughout the day, like green tea, turmeric ginger tea, or dandelion root tea, which is specifically mentioned for supporting your liver.
I've heard good things about dandelion root tea.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really good for your liver. So we've covered a lot about diet.
Yes, we have.
And now I'm really excited to move on to the next part of this natural approach.
Yoga.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
I love yoga. It's fascinating how it can play a role in managing fibroadenomas.
I know, right?
It's not just about the physical poses. It's a whole practice that can really impact our minds and bodies.
Absolutely. And I can't wait to get into the specifics of how it can potentially help.
You know what's fascinating to me about yoga?
What's that?
Its potential to reduce stress, which we know can really mess with hormone levels. Oh, totally. Like it's a chain reaction. Stress throws off your hormones, and then those hormonal changes can actually affect fibroadenoma growth.
Exactly. So managing stress through yoga could potentially make a real difference.
Makes sense.
And you know what? The guide highlights specific yoga poses that are believed to be especially good for breast health.
Oh, cool. I'm ready to strike a pose. Let's break them down and see what they're all about.
All right, let's do it.
So first up, we've got Ardha Matsyendrasana, also known as the half spinal twist.
Oh, yeah, the half spinal twist.
Have you done that one?
Oh, I love that one. It's great for your liver, helps with detoxification, and it also stimulates the endocrine glands, which are responsible for making hormones.
So it's like a 2-for-1 deal.
Exactly. Supporting detox and hormone balance at the same time.
Awesome. Okay, what's next?
Next on the list is Bhujangasana, the cobra pose.
Cobra pose. Oh, yeah, I've heard of that one.
This one is thought to increase circulation in the breast tissue and give your immune system a little boost.
I love the image of the cobra pose,
Me too.
It makes me think of strength and vitality.
It's like a reminder of the body's ability to heal and thrive.
I love that. Okay, what else do we have?
All right. Next up is Dhanurasana, which is the bow pose.
Okay.
This one is great for reducing stress and tension. Plus, it improves blood flow to the chest area.
Interesting. So we're hitting both the physical and emotional aspects here.
Right. They're not just about stretching and strengthening, but also about feeling calm and relaxed.
Totally. Okay, what's the next pose?
All right, we've got Setubanasana, or bridge pose. This one is said to stimulate the thyroid gland.
Oh, the thyroid. That's so important for hormones.
Right, exactly. The thyroid plays a major role in hormonal balance, And it also helps strengthen those chest muscles.
So many benefits from one pose. It's amazing how these ancient practices can be so relevant to our lives
I
today.
know, right? And the guide doesn't just stop at poses. It also talks about the importance of pranayama, which are breathing techniques.
Breathing techniques.
Yeah. We often forget about breathing, but it's so essential for our well-being.
That's true.
The guide specifically mentions Kapalbhati breathing for detoxification and annulum vilum breathing for balancing the nervous system and hormones.
So it's like a mini meditation within the yoga practice.
Exactly.
To really maximize the benefits of yoga for fibroadenomas, the guide recommends practicing these poses daily for 20 to 30 minutes and combining that with deep breathing.
Makes sense. Consistency is key when it comes to lifestyle changes. It's about finding a routine you can stick with and enjoy.
Okay, so we've talked about diet and yoga. Now, I'm curious about what the guide says about supplements and herbal remedies. Does it mention anything about those?
It does. It touches upon a few supplements and herbal remedies that might be helpful for managing fibroadenomas. But remember, this isn't medical advice.
Right, always important to talk to your doctor first.
Absolutely. They can give you personalized advice based on your situation.
So what kind of supplements does the guide mention?
Well, it talks about vitamin D,
Okay.
which is important for regulating estrogen levels. And a lot of people are deficient in vitamin D these days.
Yeah, that's true.
So it might be worth getting your levels checked.
Good point.
Yeah.
What else is on the list?
It also mentions magnesium, which is a mineral that's really important for supporting hormonal balance.
Oh yeah, magnesium. I've heard that's good for a lot of things.
It really is. It's involved in so many processes in the body. It's actually often called the relaxation mineral because it can help relax your muscles and promote good sleep.
Which, of course, ties back into stress management.
Exactly. Everything's connected.
And then there are omega-3 fatty acids, which we already know are great for reducing inflammation.
Right. They're good for so many things. Heart health, brain function, even your skin.
What else?
Let's see. The guide also talks about DIM, which stands for diindolylmethane. It's a compound found in cruciferous vegetables, and it's believed to help your body break down excess estrogen.
Oh, interesting. So that connects back to what we were talking about with diet earlier.
It does. It shows how all these different parts of a natural approach can work together.
That's really cool. Now, what about herbal remedies?
Okay, so the guide highlights turmeric, which we've talked about already. It's a powerful anti-inflammatory.
Yeah, turmeric is great. It's been used in traditional medicine for ages.
And modern research is starting to confirm some of its benefits.
What other herbal remedies are mentioned?
Well, there's green tea extract. The guide suggests it might reduce the risk of tumor growth,
Really?
but it also mentions that more research is needed on that.
Of course. Always good to be cautious.
Green tea's packed with antioxidants, though, so it's generally considered healthy.
Any other herbal remedies?
One more. Milk thistle. It's known for supporting the liver.
Oh, right. Milk thistle. I've heard of that.
It's been traditionally used to protect the liver from damage and help it detoxify.
And as we've discussed, that's really important when it comes to managing fibroadenomas.
Exactly. So we've covered diet, yoga, supplements, and herbal remedies. But the guide really emphasizes that lifestyle changes are just as important, both for managing and preventing fibroadenomas.
That makes sense. Lifestyle changes can really impact your overall health.
Exactly. They're like the foundation of a holistic approach to well-being.
So what kind of lifestyle changes does the guide recommend?
Well, the big one is stress management.
Of course.
Ugh.
Stress can really throw your hormones out of whack.
Exactly. So finding healthy ways to cope with stress is crucial, whether that's mindfulness, meditation, deep breathing, or just spending time in nature.
It's about finding what works for you.
Right. What else? Oh, the guide also stresses the importance of regular breast self-exams.
That's so important.
It's all about being proactive and knowing your body.
Early detection is key for any health issue.
Absolutely. And of course, hydration and detoxification are important. The guide recommends drinking plenty of water to help flush out toxins and support the liver.
Water is so essential.
It really is. And finally, good quality sleep. Aim for 7 to 9 hours each night.
I know sleep is so important, but sometimes it's hard to get enough.
I know, it can be tough. But it's worth prioritizing because lack of sleep can disrupt your hormones.
Definitely. So we've covered a lot of information here. To make it a little more relatable, the guide includes a couple of success stories from women who've tried these natural approaches.
I love hearing about real-life experiences. It's inspiring to see what's possible.
For sure. But it's important to remember that these are just individual experiences, and results can vary.
Of course. Everyone's different.
So the first story is about Sarah, who followed a fibroadenoma-friendly diet and did yoga regularly for 6 months. And guess what? Her fibroadenoma, which was originally 3 centimeters, shrunk to 1.5 centimeters naturally.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's a 50% reduction.
It really shows how powerful lifestyle changes can be.
Then there's Lisa, who found that cutting out dairy and processed foods helped prevent her fibroadenoma from growing.
Interesting.
She also made yoga and turmeric tea part of her daily routine.
It's great how she incorporated those things into her life.
So it seems like there are lots of different ways to approach this.
Definitely. What works for one person might not work for another. It's all about finding what resonates with you.
And that brings us to a crucial point. These success stories are just that. Stories. They're not a guarantee of results. But they do show what some people have experienced.
Exactly. It's important to be realistic and remember that everyone is different.
So we've covered a lot in this deep dive into natural approaches to managing fibroadenomas.
We have. We've talked about diet, yoga, supplements, herbal remedies, and lifestyle changes.
All based on the information from this guide. But it's super important to remember that this is just for informational purposes and not medical advice.
Right. Always talk to your doctor for personalized guidance. They can help you decide what's best for you.
Exactly. This has been all about giving you knowledge and insights, but the decisions about your health are ultimately up to you and your healthcare provider.
We believe in informed decision-making, and we hope this exploration has given you valuable information to discuss with your doctor.
So as we wrap up, I have a question for you and for everyone listening. We've covered so much today, but if you had to take away just one thing from this deep dive, what would it be?
That's a great question. It really makes you think about what resonated with you the most.
If you could make just one change based on what we've learned today, what would it be and why?
I love that you're encouraging listeners to personalize the information and apply it to their own lives.
Maybe it's adding more of those estrogen-balancing foods to your diet, or starting a daily yoga practice, or maybe it's simply prioritizing stress management and getting enough sleep.
Even small changes can have a big impact over time. It's about finding what works for you and what you can stick with.
We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your takeaways on social media or talk to a friend who might find this information helpful.
Let's keep the conversation going. Learning and growing together is what it's all about.
And, as always, stay curious. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.
Absolutely. It's so important to talk to your doctor for advice, personalized guidance.
Exactly. They can help you figure out the best way to go based on your situation.
Exactly.
This deep dive has really been about giving you more knowledge and things to think about.
Yeah.
But the decisions about your health, those are between you and your doctor.
Absolutely. We believe that making informed decisions is key, and we hope that this exploration has given you some things to think about, some stuff to talk over with your doctor.
So as we're wrapping up here,
Yeah.
I have a question for you and for everyone listening.
Okay.
We've covered a lot today, but if you had to pick just one thing to take away from this whole deep dive, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a good question. It makes you really reflect on what's stuck with you.
If you could make just one change based on what we talked about today, what would it be and why?
I love that you're prompting the listeners to think about this personally, apply it to their own lives.
Maybe it's eating more of those foods that help balance estrogen, or starting to do yoga every day, or maybe it's just making sure you're managing stress and sleeping well.
Even small changes can make a difference over time, It's about finding what you can actually stick with and what works for you.
We'd love to hear what you think. Share your thoughts on social media or chat with a friend who might be interested in this.
Let's keep this conversation going. It's all about learning and growing together, right?
And as always, stay curious. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.